Hey, Taurus, thank you for stopping by for your February reading. I'm Madeleine, if we haven't met before, and I am very, very excited to read for you. So, before we get started, I want to give you a channeled message that Spirit brought through for you, which was as I was just meditating, shuffling, getting into your energy, which I always do before we start these readings. Spirit was showing me an image of the Ten of Cups. Haven't seen your cards yet, not sure if it's in there, but what they were telling me was this is every day. And what they're letting you know, and I feel like this is good advice for anybody, but this is how it's coming for you. I can talk through for you this month. We're approaching Mercury retrograde. It's already happening. What can you do every day to feel this sense of prosperity and success and contentment? So we don't all have access to everything that we might want. But we all have, especially if you're watching this right now, it's like we have free access to all this amazing information and assistance on the internet, just for example. What can I do to make my life a little sweeter, a little happier, a little smoother? Because cups are love, emotion, intuition. There's very much a sense of family and rootedness and also prosperity associated with the Ten of Cups. And now it's making a lot of sense to me because you've had so many. I've just been noticing how much your cards have been referencing like working together, collaborating, community, etc. So when I say family, remember that can mean blood family, that can also mean chosen family, that can also mean like this is the group of people that I have the bond with that is like a spiritual family. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into your cards. Let's see how this plays with them. What's going on for Taurus in February? Good Lord, it's not the Ten of Cups, but it's damn close. Ah! Okay, sorry, we're going to talk about it. Okay, that's a gorgeous way to kick off your reading, though. Woo, okay. All right, knowing your worth, Taurus. Which I think you do. Wow. Oh, real close to the Ten of Cups so far. Haven't even finished. Lord Taurus. Okay. Intriguing. Do you have some unacknowledged desires, Taurus? Right after I said that, I pulled this. Options, dreams, what do I want? But thankfully, Spirit gave us a clarifier right off the bat because we knew we would need one. Wow. Okay, Taurus. You have a pretty great reading. Pretty promising. I think you're going to get some things that you want this month. And I've got a method for you to get it faster or better or more. And that is to acknowledge even your most undesirable desires. Sounds interesting, right? Let's talk about it. So we don't have the Ten of Cups in your reading. But like I said, we have the Empress, we have the Nine of Cups, we have the Seven of Cups, we have the Knight of Cups. We have a lot of love, a lot of offers, and a lot of dreams. And Spirit wants to deliver on those dreams, is how they're putting it, by having that Seven of Cups clarified by the Knight of Cups. Someone's going to bring you something that you dearly want in February. Some of you, it might be just as simple as your partner or somebody new, a suitor coming in and, hey, I'm your secret admirer, or hey, happy Valentine's Day, my love, I brought this for you, or I want to do this for us. I'm feeling very sweetheart energy. So again, these are general readings, Taurus, but that's what I'm getting for some of you. For others of you, it's like I said in the beginning, where Spirit was saying, we want to deliver on this dream. But if we're going to give you what you want, you really have to know and be comfortable with what you want. Because if you want something, but some part of you, even the smallest little infinitesimal part of you, is in resistance or feels weird or bad or guilty or whatever, we're going to talk about it, that's that shadow work stuff, about attaining this thing, this little infinitesimal part of you can indeed eclipse this, because, belief and faith, belief can conquer faith sometimes. That's just how Spirit's putting it, okay? Like, hear me out. If I am programmed, and when I say programmed, if I grow up in a house where, let's just say it like this, okay? Because this is the metaphor that Spirit's giving me. There is no offense intended. I'm not trying to target anybody or any group. If I grew up in a house that is extremely, let's say, religious, and like it's like wear the skirt to here, women don't do this, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They're really like fundamentalist kind of stuff. If I grew up in that environment, and one day, you know, I'm 18 or whatever, and I'm old enough to now leave and make my own decisions, and I do recognize that, like, that's not part of my life. I'm not doing that anymore. Spirit, some of y'all might have literally had this experience because Spirit has really, like, given it to me like this. Then I leave, and I'm like, fuck that. I don't need any of that. I don't believe in any of that. Even with all my conscious work, a little unconscious aspect of me, like I said, that infinitesimal piece that is like, wealth is bad, or sex is bad, or fun is bad, or whatever, then I'm that powerful, I may pull my own strings from below and keep myself, like leash myself from having the thing, whatever the thing may be. This role, this relationship, this level of income. There's no shame in any of those desires, okay? That's actually the whole goal here, is to not shame your desires, whatever they may be. It's time to get to know yourself a little better, Taurus. You have a really fascinating something happening here. Okay, let's talk about it. So you have the Empress crossing your reading. All of this dark, shadowy, unconscious stuff that I'm talking about, we're referencing that devil in the position of where you find yourself. So you find yourself actually in a fantastic position to acknowledge what you're afraid of embracing. This is a healing month, Taurus. This is a month to take rigorous self-inventory, to do a rigorous fear inventory. I'm going to give you a quick, simple exercise. All you need is a piece of paper and a pen. Maybe something to burn it with afterward if you're that kind. I am. Okay. Top of the piece of paper. I desire, fill in the blank, to make X amount of money, to have a relationship with blah, to whatever, lose 10 pounds, whatever, literally, big or small as you want. Below that, number 1 through 20, I deeply fear and resent having X amount of money, X relationship, X losing, being this weight, because I have deep fear that I will be resented by my friends, will be alienated from my family, will make people think I'm a fraud, or make people feel bad because they can't afford me, or etc., 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 and keep digging. Some of these fears you're going to know about. Some of them are going to pop up and be like, whoa, because I don't want to disappoint mom and dad. Whoa, didn't know I cared about that. Like, dig it up. Excavate it. The more you're willing to know yourself, and this part is important, Taurus, be gentle and accepting of yourself. Empress, motherly, nurturing energy. The freer you're going to be, and the closer you're going to get to your desires. The more honest you are with yourself, and like I said, in a nurturing, kind, loving way. There's a reason that the Empress shows up as a pregnant woman. You would think, you would not think very well of a mother who you saw who was pregnant and who is like, oh yeah, but I'm only going to love my baby if it has like green eyes and blonde hair and olive skin and grows to this height and is interested in these things. You'd be like, ew, the fuck? So don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to your own goddamn dreams. I can love myself when this happens. I'll think I'm successful when this happens. Like, how about you're worthy and lovable just as you are right now, and you can also have more and want more, and that's okay. And it starts with you fucking telling yourself that it's okay. And that you can want some things that are maybe not great for you. And that that's okay too. That you're human. That you can have compassion for yourself and be like, I know I shouldn't want this person. Or I shouldn't want that situation back. Or whatever. But I do. That's the first step to transcending it. That's actually, ironically, the first step to letting it go is acknowledging that you're holding it. Because if you're pretending that you don't just have a hand growing out the back of your neck that's holding on to your past and you just go like, oh no, I'm ready, I'm moving on. But you're jagging this fucking bag of shit, well, it's going to continue to stink. So if we acknowledge, you know what, I am holding on to that. There is a part of me that's unwilling to let go of XYZ. Just acknowledging that, like, I'm not ready or willing to let go of it yet, ironically starts to, like, relax your hand open a little bit. Now I know it's back there. Now I know I'm so powerful I grew a fucking mutated spiritual hand out my back to continue to hold on to my relationship with my mother or whatever. So that I would make sure that I never surpass her. I never offend her spirit by becoming the thing that I always wanted to be but that she didn't want me to be. If this is ringing bells for you, Taurus, please be sweet to yourself, be kind to yourself, take a deep breath, drop your shoulders as you take this in, okay? The looking at the fear and the looking at the ugly, that's how you're going to find the beauty. That's how you're going to get the dreams and the wishes that you want, the goals that you want to achieve. Like I said, this is a very healing reading. This is definitely about, like, Spirit wants you to have what you want. So if you're here, it's because you're ready to get this message to set yourself free. The Empress is number 3 in the tarot. She is preceded by her older sister, number 2, the High Priestess. The High Priestess is not afraid of the underworld. This is Persephone. So you may know her from the myth that her mother, Demeter, was the goddess of earth and the goddess of spring and making things green and verdant and healthy. And Persephone, in the myth, is kidnapped by the devil, by Hades, right? The devil in tarot is not Satan, is not representative of pure evil, is representative of the dark side, the underworld, obsession, addiction, rage, the parts of us that we want to hide because we feel like they're bad. And society tells us they're bad. It's not right for me to cry at work. That's embarrassing. That's shameful. That's whatever. All that bullshit. So Persephone was kidnapped by Hades, brought to the underworld. And as we know in the myth, eventually, she married the guy. And she eventually was allowed the freedom to come up for half the year and be with her mother, and then go back down to the underworld for half of it and be with her husband. So fall and winter, when Demeter is feeling sad that her daughter is back underworld, that was the Greeks' way of describing why winter and fall would happen, was the grief of the gods. And then when Persephone comes back in the spring, everything blossoms. You're ready to blossom. We are approaching spring. Spirit is using this myth for a reason. You have all these characters in your spread for a reason. Time to choose to walk down to the underworld, to walk down to your spiritual basement, see what the funny noise that's happening, instead of pulling the covers up over your head and staying in bed when you hear the funny noise in the basement, actually going down there, turning the fucking lights on and being like, oh, the radiator. Or, the water heater's leaking. That sounded so fucking scary when it was just echoing up under the floorboards. But now, I can see this is a drip. And I can just, there, fixed. I can go on about my life. Feel me? We gotta see it to heal it. We gotta feel it to heal it. Okay? We're not sealing. We're feeling. I know that can be difficult for a Taurus because you're like, move on. Like, and I get it. And I respect it. Like, earth sign, good stuff. Now you got to get a little in your water, okay? Got a lot of cups here. Got a lot of healing cards, like I said here. The Hermit, the High Priestess, the Four of Swords, Temperance, peace, quiet, flow. Allowing things to, quote unquote, like bubble up or come up, and not rejecting them or pushing them back down, but actually being like, oh, whoa. Like, here's what Spirit is saying. Here's how they're giving it to me. This friend of mine is telling me all about their great new job or their success or whatever, and what bubbles up in me is envy or insecurity or jealousy. And my be a good person and my programming is going to tell me, put a big smile on her face, this is so great, I'm so happy, and I'm dying on the inside. No. I'm not telling you to tell your friend, fuck you. I want your job. Give me your... No. There's a balance here. There's a balance of, oh my God, friend, like, I'm so happy for you. That's so incredible. I hope one day to have that level of success or whatever. And you, in your own time, after you have that interaction and you start hearing the funny noise in your spiritual basement, feeling funky and feeling weird and uncomfortable because all you want to feel is happy and excited and like, yay, love and light and great for you and etc. But you feel the scary thing. Go walk down into your spiritual basement and be like, okay, self, where's this coming from? What's going on with us? What's this feeling? Like, well, when they told me that they got this new job and they were making this much money, it really brought up how I feel like I don't have enough, or maybe I'm not doing well enough. Like, okay, we're going to stick with this idea of you need to mother yourself. And you kind of need to reparent yourself and speak to yourself the way an ideal parent would. Very likely that that's not the way that your parent or your caregiver spoke to you, considering this is what Spirit's bringing up, okay? When you go to yourself and say, like, ugh, I'm having these ugly feelings, these feelings I feel bad about, I'm jealous of my friend, or I'm whatever, I almost want them not to have, whatever, like, I don't want to feel that, right? It's like, it's hard for me to even acknowledge out loud that sometimes we have feelings like that of like, I want what they have, or I don't want them to have that, or they don't deserve that, they're not better than, whatever, okay? Like I said, the ugly stuff, the stuff we don't want to look at. If I can look at that in myself and be, like I said, the parent to the 5-year-old me that's like, but I want it, and like, I don't have enough, and I want more. The mother in me, instead of being like, ew, you are so selfish, like, that is just disgusting, you need to be happy for your friend, why would you feel that way, etc., etc., etc. That's not nice. That's not loving. Okay, honey, like, well, tell me about it. What are you feeling? Like, you feel like you don't have enough? What do you mean? Like, what are you lacking? Or what is it that you want? As you parent yourself, you figure and sort out which of your dreams are what you actually want and which ones are just coming because it's like a funny noise in the basement. You might interpret your feeling of envy or insecurity as, I don't want my friend to be successful, when really it's just, I want to be successful and I don't really believe that I can. Because that could be the only thing keeping someone as capable and smart and hardworking as you from what you want is your own power. Not trying to bypass circumstances. I'm not trying to say that some of us don't fucking start out, like, you know what I mean? There are levels and it's not an even playing field. So far be it from me to imply that. But I am saying that whatever circumstances we have, whatever skills that we have to acknowledge and embrace them, and we have to do the same with our quote-unquote weaknesses, our blind spots, and we have to do it with compassion. When we do it with compassion, we can take something that, you know, what we bury grows, Taurus. So if we bury our bad feelings, they bear fruit. Better to dig up. You know, we're going to think of these bad thoughts. We're going to think of them like mushrooms. You know, like, it's a fungus, but it's organic. It's okay. Like, you might not want to eat it. You might not want to ingest it, but like, it is what it is. It serves its purpose. We can dig it up. Okay? Maybe you ingest it and have a little magical mushroom shadow work experience, or maybe you just go, wow, I didn't even know that this fungus was underneath my garden and that's why these things weren't growing. But now that I dig it up and now that I'm aware that this fungus has the potential to grow here in my garden, I'm going to keep an eye out for the signs. And when my little leaves in my garden start having little spots or whatever, I'm going to be like, ooh, that thought, that belief, that fear that I have is starting to eat away at things. Let me go have another conversation with it. Let me go. There must be a little bit more there to excavate and understand. There are some wonderful realizations and revelations, and truly, like, it feels, what Spirit is showing me, you have the Wheel of Fortune, and they're showing me a water wheel. Has this come up for you before, Taurus? This is like I feel like this has come up once only for me ever, and I'm wondering if it's for the same sign, because they're showing me this water wheel, and it's like, your emotions are going to power and move things forward, and they always do. Whether or not you think your feelings about things are playing into how successful or how happy or whatever you are, they certainly are, no matter how rigorous you can be. Your awareness of your worth and the fact that you are, however you want to think of it, Taurus, like child of God, whatever words that say you're a sacred, whole, worthwhile being. You got to know that. And you got to know that you don't have to be perfect to be that, and that you don't have to push away or bury your bad thoughts, bad, negative, dark, whatever. We only call them dark because they're hidden. Okay? What's in the dark is not bad. What's in the dark is hiding from the light of our awareness and our truth. And sunlight is the best disinfectant. Bring love, light, compassion to the wounded or needy parts of you, rather than doing what was done to them before and rejecting them. Super deep. That's going to create a lot of wonderful movement in your life. And for some of you, make a real dream come true. A goal, a relationship. You have the literal wishes come true card. But don't rest on your laurels, okay, babe? Go down to the basement and see what that weird noise is. Address it now. And then you'll have things running smoothly. You are on a journey. There is much greater peace of mind coming up, okay? So here's what Spirit also said. Don't be careful what you wish for, because whatever you get will tell you where you are in your manifestation kind of journey. If what you got is 3 degrees short of what you wanted, you can be like, damn, I'm really close to that level of like self-love and self-integration. Like, I'm so close. That means that if I do a little bit more of this work, I can hit it. Or if you're way down here at your manifestation and you wanted it up here, you can know, okay, this is how much self-love and like self-exploration and self-soothing that I need to do so that I can feel worthy, ready, available. Available. Knight of Cups. Tell me about it, Taurus. This is exciting. This is really interesting. This is like a super spiritual and deep reading, but it's also all about like literally acquiring what you want. So makes sense to me. Second house, Taurus, money, love, values, Venus, all that stuff. But you tell me, Taurus, what's going on? Do you have questions? Do you have comments? Do you have stories? Do you know what the funny noise in your basement is? I'm very curious to see how this feels for you all. So no pressure, but every little comment, like, share helps. I appreciate you, Taurus. Thank you for being here. I really hope that this is helpful for you. And if I don't see you in a reading before then I hope I see you in your March reading. Bye, Taurus.